Oh, fine. Okay, good. Hey guys, we are live, and thank you for joining us again. It's another week, and we are talking a bunch of shows. Of course, the season finale of Watchmen happened. We won't get into spoiler details because Andrew, who's joining us here this week, how's it going, Andrew?
It's going pretty good. How about yourselves? It's snowy here, so
It's cold outside, but it's a nice day so far, so I can't complain. And how's it going there, Lou? How's it going, man?
Well, you have snow, you have cold, I have 80-degree weather, baby.
You know what? I'm just gonna mute you.
That was you.
I know I did that. I did it myself. I just realized this is not Hangouts proper. But yeah, so anyway, let's start off with a trailer that dropped today. I don't know if you saw it, Andrew, also, but Top Gun full trailer dropped today.
hmm
Uh, what are your thoughts, Andrew? So I'll go with you first. What are your
I
thoughts?
I am just excited to. For me, it makes me just more excited for just to see what all they filmed. Because apparently there's a B-roll for all the actors playing the pilots, kind of like passing out and everything, and it just makes me more excited for the film. Like I'm tentatively excited,
Oh.
but I just want to see more of how they filmed it.
Oh, that would be so good to actually see. I was excited. I'm excited about that trailer. I liked it. It got me all pumped. I wanted to see. I really wanted to see how the Young Bucks, react to Maverick doing his thing,
hmm
and what's the tension between, because I'm sure Goose's son blames Maverick for his father's death.
Yeah.
So I want to see what that tension is. How about you, Lou? What do you think about that trailer?
Just give me the movie. I don't I don't need no more trailers. I'm ready. I wasn't sure how it felt when this was. I'm tired of now they're doing Top Gun and all this stuff. No, just whatever. But this trailer got me sold.
Okay. All right. So Lou is in all the way. That's good. All right, cool. Let's move on to Watchmen
The
season
Men of the Watch,
8 episode season 1 episode 8. Now,
episode 9.
episode 9, sorry. David Lindelof is saying that there's going to be just one season of this. And the way it's going, the way this season has gone, it can be one season. It can be one season, it can be one and done. And I think they did a good job. Now, I've seen some people, since we're trying not to spoil it for Andrew here, is that I've seen some people who said, the finale didn't feel like it hit what they wanted to do, but I thought they still hit the right notes, and it matched all the theories that I had coming into the finale as well. How did you feel about the finale, Lou?
I thought the finale was fine. I could see it was a little lackluster from what we've gotten for the whole season.
Yeah, though it's such a high bar, and I don't think they ever were going to hit that note. But the one thing they did in the finale that I liked is they answered every single question.
Yeah, they did. They and if it
They
ends
wrapped
the
up all
way it ends, it's
storylines.
it's like wrapped up. Unlike some shows that keep story threads open.
I mean, you could say one part of the storyline wasn't fully wrapped up, but they literally, of all the questions you had, they went that. They're like, here are the answers for you and how it plays in. But I've got to say, the
And
writing in the show has been impeccable. The acting has been solid. Yeah, the use of Big Blue in here has been really good,
and
and makes
this crew
sense.
got what they deserved.
I mean, but it's all. I think it also falls into the very idea of what Watchmen comic was and how it represents, and this is just put it in today's context, if you will, or at least a hyper version of today's context in there. So I can't wait for you to check it out and watch, because it's going to be an interesting show to delve into. Tech guy, smart buy, what's up, man? Okay, let's jump into the Expanse. This is what we are here to dig in. It was 10 episodes. I'll start off by saying, so I watched the
Spoilers.
spoil. It's going to spoiler field. Sorry, guys. Like, there's just really no way about it. I saw it this weekend. I watched it all throughout Sunday with my girl, and I'm going to channel some of her disappointment. Is she thought they spent too much time on Illis
Really?
Era?
because
I can't say yes or no because I didn't read the book.
Because also, but Illis is half of the book, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I get, but that's why, like, to me, she was like, okay, because when we started, she's like, wait, doesn't Naomi? Are they going to show Naomi's like ex-boyfriend with? And I was like, we have to wait and see. And when Marcus Sinara showed up, she's like, because you know, there's going to be drama with him and James Holden.
She read the book?
Mm-hmm.
No, she hasn't read the book. It's just this simple, like, she said she had a boy. She had another life, and she
had
told
another life. Okay.
She told what's the name again? Drummer.
Yeah.
She told Drummer. So she's like, are they going to show him now? And I was like, yeah, here's Marcos. And she's like, okay, let's get Marcos, because you can tell. And then and that very last, when we get to that last shot of, not last shot, but that the last episode when Marcus and his son show up, Philip, and because she had this funny thing. This is kind of like a side note where she goes, the lady who put the bomb on the launch pad, even though they switch roles from the book, it's not really her, it's her husband that does that in the book. But the lady and her daughter don't match. They don't look alike. There's no family resemblance. Meanwhile, Philip looks like Marcus's son. She matched the father, but you look, Philip looks like a combination of Marcos and
okay, they got that casting right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she was just like, she was more when she saw that, she was like, oh, I cannot wait to see the drama in there. And then the other thing that I would say I didn't like, because it's new or in the show, was the whole election process. If I'm not mistaken, was not in the book.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the book from what I remember.
It was not in the book. It was fine. There were some parts that were a little off. Same thing also, Bobby's section was not in the book that way.
Right. I think it was a nice addition, though. I like
Bobby's own was really nice. I did like that.
In the books, there's a big space where we just don't know what she's doing, basically.
Yes.
And I like that they're tying it into the larger things of what's happening beyond Anaros. So
so let's just say that whatever Anaros starts.
Well, you guys got me all confused now. I don't know where y'all at.
Okay,
stick to the show.
Sure. All right,
stick to the show.
Sorry, let me just get back to the show. So, what I liked with Illis is they covered everything that I thought was going to take a super long time to cover in a short amount of time, because I wasn't sure how they were going to show. We saw them going blind. We saw the wave. We saw some of him working with Miller. Now, here's the part I am not sure, if you can correct me here, is in the show he finally gets proper Miller. In the book, I wasn't sure if it was proper Miller.
I don't think they denoted that separately. Like it was always ambiguous.
I did like that they gave Miller a send off in a sense.
Me too. Because I mean, he's been a big character for 4 seasons and various forms, and I'm really glad that the show makes certain changes that I think are for the most part, pretty good quality changes, where they adapt it. And in Miller, they flushed out more. Despite the fact he's a little less mysterious, I think narratively it worked better for the show and it was a little more emotionally satisfying towards the end, leading to the build up to the little ball thing.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Lou, how about you? Since we've read the books, what's your take? What do you feel with how the season went?
Well, first off, you could tell the production quality was so much more better. The Rosinante looked like the outer shots were gorgeous.
Yeah.
So overall, the whole season was great. I liked it. Like I said to you guys in our chat and Twitter, I got some questions because you mentioned something from a previous book about a big old war that's coming. Because the way this season ends, it sets something up to head down that path.
Yeah. We're getting into, I say, part one of the war, right? Is that how you put it? Yeah, part one of the war. The war has two stages with two completely different characters that are connected.
I wonder what they're going to do next season with that. I don't want to get too much into the plot, but I wonder if they're going to cover 2 books or 1 book next season.
I think it's going to be 1 book because this is book 4 and it's only half of book 4 that they've covered. This is just half of book 4 that we watched. So I think next season will be the other half of book 4 where it narrows. So the biggest thing that you had to take away from this, if at least if people were connecting the dots properly, is that Mars is dead. Mars has sold its soul so quickly because why, like they said, different characters said in the show, even the cop that Bobby was working with was, why work for something when you know you can just go to another planet and there's air in there and we can take it now. And that, I think, was the failure of the Martian governments themselves.
Yes.
In there.
Well, it's like the philosophy of the Martian way of life and outlook was being kind of failing the test of reality.
Exactly, yeah. As opposed to Earth, where like Earth could have easily said like people will go, but again, you still had air, you had water, and all that kind of stuff. And I think they were trying to stress that with the elections she was having, where she had the gal lady going like, "We need to go explore, we need to go explore." But I also get her standpoint. It was like, "Them shits are dangerous," So
yeah.
Now let me ask you this. Is that other woman who was going up against our main lady for office, is she in the book?
Not that I can remember. No.
So she was a character added for the show.
She was so the characters that I knew that were added were her, the whole crew.
Avasarala. Are you talking about Avasarala or someone else?
Her opponent. Gina Gao. Gina Gao. No idea who she was. Also, the cop in Mars, the crooked cop, and his crew, all brand new for this. But I think it tied in well with the storyline because the storyline was Mars was decaying like that, but we never saw how it was decaying. So Bobby gave us that picture of what was happening inside.
So the bad thing is I ended up watching, the 6th episode of The Mandalorian, and now all I can think of, whenever I think of that cop character, all I can picture is Bill Burr for some reason.
Oh, really? Yeah. I haven't watched episode 6 yet of Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
I literally just was like, Expanse.
You're gonna enjoy this episode. This episode was actually The Mandalorian episode 6 was actually really good.
Okay. I would definitely check it out. For me, it was Expanse yesterday. I was like, we needed to finish it.
Did any of you guys notice that they changed the aspect ratio of the show with this season? It's more like 21:9. It's more cinematic widescreen than it's not 16:9 anymore.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'll check it out.
I really felt that during the scene.
I think they wanted to give you a much more grander scope of things as you're watching it, which I mean definitely makes sense.
Oh yeah. It was great, and some of my favorite shots were like the simple ones, like in the camp with the scientist, where she's talking to her buddy up on the ship, and the way they frame it.
Fires, yeah.
I mean, you get some really cinematic shots with how they set that up, and I like the framing and the choice of shots that they did on Ellis.
I'm going to say this. Amos is my new favorite character.
Amos has always been number one.
My man sat there and goes to the chick. Pardon my French, guys. They get into a little discussion, and he busts out going, "Are we still gonna fuck?" Like the way the things he said is out of this world. Then he took the dude from Game of Thrones. I really wanted him to beat his ass.
Was he Game of Thrones?
Yes, that was the guy that Jon Snow had to kill.
He was in the Night's Watch, but he betrayed everyone at
Craster's Keep. Jorah Mormont's dad. He was part of that clique.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were thinking.
He was the guy with the 2 little small blades where, I killed many men. And
okay. Now that comes into play.
So he irked me there. he plays him and Ramsey Bolton have that villain face.
Oh no, he plays that character very well. In the book, it's the same. So the funny thing about the show and the casting is when you read the book or listen to the other book, Miller is like Miller. What's his name? The guy who plays Holden plays him not necessarily vocally. His eyes are the ones that do most. He has his eyes like the whole world is on my shoulders. I want to save everyone. And Amos is just, it is so on point, and his sense of humor, which is not really a sense of humor, but just practicality, is just to the T. And the actor who plays Amos does a fantastic job of just nailing it.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
like
Amos
like his one-liners. He delivers them great. We could go outside right now. I'm free right now.
Yeah.
Like, yo, give him an Emmy.
I still, my favorite one was, is there still something we need to do here?
Yeah, I remember that. It was just he always just knows how to like punch in really well. But I mean, like the whole cast, what you talking about, Amos, even the pilot too, because he's the one that tries to make everything light for everybody else, even though he knows it's very serious. What's his name again? I keep forgetting the pilot's name.
Alex,
yeah. Alex tries to make it light because he knows that he's the one that's like, okay, I messed up my first family. Y'all can't mess this one up for me at all. It's pretty much what he's saying to himself.
But see, I hope technology gets to where they are, where homie got half his hand blowed off and is regrowing. That's some pimp ass
No,
shit.
but that was where my best line was for the show, where he goes, it's like, your fingers are looking good. Time to test it out.
Yeah, I know. Like,
and you all know where he's
him.
going.
Guy punched him, and he just smiles. I was like,
that was
wow.
the most genuine smile that Amos has been portrayed this entire series.
Yes,
like the most true, just pure smile ever was that one moment. So
Andrew, in the very first episode, they showed the conversation he had through comms with Julie Mao's sister. Clarissa. Now, that was not in the books, but I liked it because I was like, that's going to play, for those who haven't watched, just going to play an important role in season 5. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they actually touched on it there so that we knew that, okay, there was some connection.
Well, and it just goes to show, it's another example of the writers of the series knowing what's happening and hinting things earlier than they did in the books in a lot of ways, because they know that they're going to be skimming over a lot of stuff just through the nature of the medium. So it's nice to be able to get that rich context early on, and that's one thing I just love about the writing with this show. So
yeah, I think they've done a better job with Drummer, because in the books, Drummer is early, and then I see her later on, and I totally forgot who she was, and it took me remembering the show, not the book, to realize who Drummer was.
Right?
And I liked the relationship they had with Drummer and
Ashford.
It was like a yin yang of craziness.
Oh man,
like they both were switching sides, but they knew how to balance each other's side.
Well, and it goes to show that they made Ashford more sympathetic in the previous season.
That got floated at the end?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna suck that he's gone. He was interesting.
He was, and they built him up a lot more than
the show did a good job with him. That's why I think I cared more when he died. Because frankly, most of the people that die on the show I could care less about. But his death felt impactful, because it's like he's given the inners a chance to live by recording that transmission and having it sent. So
he's sort of done that. But
I mean, whether it works or not, we'll find out.
I think he sent that to Drummer. I think, right? So I think I'm thinking more that's Drummer's motivation, because that's the one person he trusts. She was supposed to be his XO, so most likely that message is going to her first.
Oh yeah, it's going to her, and then she's probably going to relay it to get the Eners help because I like how they categorize the Earthers as inners and all this other stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really funny though. I think they've really amped that up. So my girl thinks she says she's a belter. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm like, it's cool.
You're like,
I mean,
"Just get them
they're
that
the most
tattoos."
resourceful. Yeah, they're the most resourceful race of people. But I think my biggest disappointment was it was 10 episodes. That's literally was my biggest disappointment, especially of how much I know coming up. And since they were always doing a one book per season thing, and now they've split it up, I was so waiting for the second half, and I was like, guys, you guys, like, what happens next? Ugh. It just takes the show to a whole different level. I'll explain the same way I was telling my girl was like, the one thing the show does is introduces you to something new, and then just directs you there. And it's gonna be like that with season 5, hopefully 6, 7, 8, so whatever.
Come on,
season
man. This show's going.
I'm
pretty sure it had some good numbers.
Oh, I'd be interested to find out how many. I wish that we had access to the metrics of like how many of the subscribers who watched have actually completed the series within a week. Like I'd be interested to see some of that.
I started Friday at work, finished it Saturday at work.
Talk about a whole work day where he was like, you want something? No, leave me alone. that pretty much was Lou the whole time. All right, so what were your favorite episodes this season?
Oh gosh,
or at least episodes or scenes, because right now in my head is even jumping up a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff on Illis. Oddly enough, it was refreshing. I liked how the way they filmed it, and it was pretty nice. I liked the fact that Naomi was having a lot of troubles on acclimating, and they illustrated that in the show much better than I feel like in the books. She just doesn't come by choice to Earth or something. It feels like more of a choice and less like biology that's preventing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. At first, when they showed the beginning where he was with his mom, and he's like, "Oh, I would love to meet her in person," and he's like, the drugs, mom, and all that, and then we see it. And then I realize I'm like, it's like, I get it. It's one thing to see. And also Illis doesn't have the same G as Earth. I know they didn't specify it. It's less than Earth, but it's not as low as Ganymede or Mars. No, Mars is, I think, about the same as Illis, probably.
Probably. That's one thing they didn't illustrate very well. But I mean, how are you going to illustrate that? Like, they spent most of their money on
they usually just state it and say like it's 1/3 Earth G or something like that. It'd be about Ganymede was always the best place to go have to raise crops because it was I think it was 1/3 Earth G, and also the best place to have kids because of the low gravity.
They could
acclimate. Is that a new planet that we're going to?
No. You remember Ganymede Station where?
The station that I think got killed by the protomolecule.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it's orbiting Jupiter.
Orbiting Jupiter. So yeah, that was the farm belt of our solar system. So
the breadbasket.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, to me, it was interesting. How about you, Lou? What were your favorite scenes, episodes this season?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, all the scenes with Amos are good because he's just a one-liner, all about his business.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff with Naomi was good. Her struggles with the planet as far as acclimating, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
She literally had to stay up in space. Poor girl. She's stuck. And, the other stuff with the mom that blew up the launch pad.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that. See, my problem was I honestly feel they could have coexisted if they didn't do that.
Oh, like if they hadn't bombed the...
Yes, because you provoked Crazy Man, and now Crazy Man was out for blood.
No, not necessarily, though. So here's the thing. Remember at the very end when Crazy Man told Amos's girl the original plan of the company and what he was going to get, they were going to kick them out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why he was supposed to try and play nice because Holden was coming. And since Holden was sent by Avasarala, which is why he couldn't kill Amos, it was like, that's just too much trouble, for them. It's not killing a belter or some regular human being out there. This is the crew of the Rocinante. You touch them, Avasarala can just wipe you out like that. if she wanted to.
Yeah, but now she's no longer in power. Like,
It,
yo,
oh,
this is
sorry,
spoilers.
I was no. I was going to spoil next season for you.
Oh well,
Yeah. So
you
it's
mean
like,
the next part of the book? Okay,
yeah,
that's
yes,
fine.
exactly. I mean, but it
But
was interesting that note that they took puts everything in limbo, right? There's this
oh,
asteroid going for Earth, right?
now I
Uh,
see how she could get back into
uh,
power.
uh,
The asteroid destroys half the Earth. She's got to go up into space. That other Yao Ye lady gets kick, bye bye, and boom, back in power we
I mean,
go.
that is if it actually hits, though.
Well, the show might change some stuff, but
If
that
if
seems like the route the book took.
if it actually hits, no, I'm not saying. I mean, that's not even where the route the book went or not. I'm just saying that if it hits or if it doesn't hit at the same time. So there's a lot of ways it could go, but um, I think they had a very structured plan. I think part of me also believes the reason they spent a lot of time at Illis was to keep it grounded for a lot of new viewers as well, because you know
What this season gave me was a sense that it was like a soft reboot. Like for the first 3 seasons, this happened, boom. But now, for our new people that are coming in, we're kind of like a soft reboot because, like you said, they literally took this whole season and stayed on that planet where the book splits it.
yeah, it does. I mean, it's just so hard because my mind is thinking of the second half of the book. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Andrew, go ahead.
well, at least we managed to the show. Now the show has their official, like, Holden grew a beard now for it. Now he's kind of got the Reichard beard, so the show is now officially mature.
Yes, that is true.
So, like,
boy.
oh man, it was overall it was good. I liked how they handled, and one scene I forgot about that I forgotten about in the books, even that surprised me. It shows how long it's been since I've read the book, but the slugs,
Oh,
the slugs,
yes.
that's so terrifying. The fact
They
that
were.
oh,
Yeah, they
man.
didn't. The book didn't do a good job. I mean, I read it last year. The books didn't do a good job of expressing the terror until that scene with the water and the guy in there and everything. I was like, oh yeah, you don't want to step into that
But
at
see,
all.
that's
Yeah.
what pissed me off. That one inner jumping to conclusions and goes and punches the belter for no reason.
No, but you have to understand though that because it's been so long, they don't consider themselves the same race, even though they are technically. There's a mental switch that goes like, especially against belters. Earth and
Mhm.
Martians are a bit similar, and they kind of go like, it's a little bit more like older brother, younger brother, right? Belters are more like it's almost a slave mentality. It's pushed on belters, right? It's like you people are crap, but also again, the society is all about survival in space. It's not about and I think that's something that Marcos Anaris brought up. There's a statement he said like initially when he caught him, he said, look, there are all these planets for us to explore, but here's the catch. He goes at the end. He also talks about when he was talking to Ashford when he's about to kick him out. I believe it was around then. He said, those planets are not for us. We are a space, basically said we are a space race. We do not live in planets. What do you think will happen when the inners now go there?
They're going
So
to take control.
yeah, so he's like, most of us cannot be on those planets. And then even somebody was talking about it. Oh yeah, Drummer was talking to Naomi about it. And when she said it's a choice, it's like in 2 generations, the children there will be inners.
Biologically, they'll be
Yeah, exactly. And they will not know their roots. And so that's the philosophy they're facing right now. And it's not one where people are not looking and going like, no, this is just the human race spreading. And it's funny though, when they all were going blind, my girl was like, that's where C started. Yes. The Apple TV show. That's how they all go blind. I was like,
man.
yes, probably a
Yeah,
different
but
planet.
see, that whole sequence, the blindness and all this, and when they get out, it's like the planet became metal all the way around.
No,
So how were they going to survive?
Oh, from the tsunami. Oh, the
Yeah,
Because when the tsunami
stripped
hit, and then when the water finally came back,
did they explain the planet yet, or is that laid out in the book or another?
no, the planet's not explained much. All we know is that Miller turned off the planet.
So did they, I'm wondering do they Andrew, did they explain the planet later in the book, or
God, it's been a while. I wasn't sure if it was.
I think it's later because of something else that happens.
Yeah, there's
around one of the other gates.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Well, I'm aboard now. Yeah. Though you would have thought that everyone would have been like, okay, oh man, there's these moons are, orbiting in equidistant positions. Maybe we might not want to settle on this planet, like,
I mean, think about it. You have a planet, right, that has 13 islands and 13 moons.
The shuttle was coming down and it just evaporated and the one moon turned red. It's like,
yeah,
something's not right.
Yeah. There's so much protomolecule mysteries to be solved, and then the thing in the middle is from somewhere else. That little ball at the end, the black ball with the yellow shimmer that Okoye went through, LV Okoye went through, and
that was a Maya from Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, she. You know what? When you give somebody a good script and good direction, because I didn't like her in Legends of Tomorrow. She was much better.
Half the people we don't like in Legends of Tomorrow.
No. I'm just saying, like, I thought, I was like, she's not that good. And here I'm like,
and
I was like, she sounds like Okoye. Yeah, that's good.
Sidetrack. Crisis sucks. Don't bother. Whatever.
Crisis on CW. I've already seen 3 episodes and it was painful. It's okay.
But another side note, if you get a chance, want to lay back and enjoy, have a good time, watch Michael Bay's latest film, 6 Underground. Great popcorn fun.
Nice.
Right, so pure madness there. Okay. What else have we not covered on?
Oh man, I will say, like, back to Ashford, I knew the moment that we saw the footage of his baby. I was like, oh, he's gonna buy it, like, overall, Ashford was guy got spaced at the end.
Oh, him. Okay, the
most badass way to go ever. Like, to be honest, if you're gonna get executed, that's probably the best way to handle it.
You will probably die very quickly too, like that.
I know this is a spoiler, but how long does this Marco guy last? Because I don't like him.
You're not supposed to like Marco.
I know but he's another one that's gonna irk me, and I'm just gonna root for him to finally die, like I did when Hank died on Breaking Bad.
You're not gonna like Marco. You're not supposed to like Marco, and there are reasons why.
He's a pretty good villain.
Yeah, Marco's a good villain. The next villain after Marco is an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, there's books, so
bro. I mean, I understand there's gonna be 9 books overall, but this is becoming something that is really good, and it does it well, and hopefully other shows mimic this as far as storytelling.
No, I would agree. I think that was one of the things that, at least for me, introducing my girl to it only 2 weeks ago. And she that's why I said that she remembered that Naomi had a kid, and she's like, the way they tell stories is bound to come up. It's coming up. And then Marco shows up. I'm like, so it's those kind of things where they set things up, and and then she's waiting for Amos's story as well. And then, we've been getting little peppers of Amos, now, but
I feel Amos was a mob boss or a mob enforcer. He gives me that vibe.
Can we say that we'll get more of Amos? Yeah, we'll get more of Amos's story in the second half of the book.
Yes, that is one of the most satisfying things. Yeah, was she in I don't think she was in the book.
No, she was.
She was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. His right hand man was a woman. Yeah, she was in the book. I don't know if they hooked up. I can't remember, but she was in the book. Amos kind of liked her, and he didn't. I don't think he killed her.
I was surprised that he actually got her. I thought that she was just wounded originally until they
At
confirmed.
first, that's what I thought, but then they said she was dead.
No, she shot her in the head, and then he rested on her body while he was waiting
Oh.
for her.
Well, yeah, that's when it was confirmed. But I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
it didn't. It seemed like she had gotten a shot off, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she got a shot off. I think either on his leg. He took her head out. He shot her like straight right there, and then this guy took his fingers off.
Yeah. Oh man, that was some pretty good effects they did. Whether it was like the mix of practical, and I'm sure some digital like effects for removing 3 of his fingers.
Yeah, it was. I think they nailed a lot of things this season. I think they also made you remember the characters you loved, why you loved them. I think the person who had the least amount of time out of all of them was probably Alex.
Agreed. He was stuck on the ship the whole time.
He was stuck on, he was stuck on the ship. And his role has different, since he didn't spend a lot of time flying, Alex does his best when he's flying, right? Alex is to me is the best pilot in the solar system, from being a freighter pilot, but he just needed the right motivation to get him there. So, but what's funny is that as we were watching it, the whole time my girl was just going, when is Bobby going to join the ship? Like she hated Bobby at first, then she liked Bobby.
That's
and then
my
she's
question
like,
too. Does she come back to the Rosanante?
She's like, when is Bobby coming to the ship? Who knows when?
I can't confirm nor deny. Is that one of those scenarios? You don't want to spoil it?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I'm sure. I mean, she spends some time on the ship. Yeah, definitely. But it's a matter of like, how they do it, and if they do something different with it.
Well, they're gonna have to do something because I feel that one character that she was working with, that was with the crooked cop, she's gone. So that storyline pretty much is going to wrap up.
Or the storyline it wrapped up. I mean, she called Avasarala, and Avasarala's like, you're late.
Yeah.
And
all the time.
You gave me a little hope that she's not late with the whole fact that she might still be senator or the UN president.
UN president. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We have no idea.
And this season ramped up the F-bombs. I loved it.
Yeah, that's why she was written.
That's her. I mean, that woman is just her mouth is so foul, but she is so direct. And I also like the fact they brought her husband. I didn't like that they changed her husband though.
Yeah,
I thought so.
I wonder. I bet you it was just a scheduling conflict or something. Because the guy they had originally was a recognizable actor. Like I'd seen him in other things that I'm sure I can't name right now, but he's one of those actors.
Yeah, he is. The one thing I would say is that we're talking about this. I was like, the original actor looked older than her, and this guy looks younger. He doesn't look younger. He has this dual look. On a wide shot, he looks younger. When he gets when you get a close up, you see his age. So he's one of those where you could say he's more to her speed because of how she is. I think his mannerism worked. But I'd like to introduce him here because they never really showed much of even in the books, they never really showed much of their connection and how.
Wasn't he on Mars the first 3 seasons?
No, he was on Earth.
Was he?
Yeah, no. Like the shot of like them laying on the roof of a house in the first season had like he was up there, and yeah,
but it was the last time we saw him was he went somewhere.
I don't remember, but either way, he ends up back on Earth, and
yeah, I mean he's on Earth, and she was going to go to Luna, and he said I'll stay here. But yeah, I like that they spent time with that too, because we just didn't get the person. Even that Bobby's joke was like, you're a braver man than anybody else for marrying her, because I can't deal with her, so that was cool.
She's one of those folks that after 20 to 30 minutes you're like, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah. It's either you got to go or you. There's something you and her connect with that she just can't beat you on or even argue on. Like she was talking about anything else, but you say, I have a friend who, her husband, literally we were like, this is the only man that could have married her because she's like a firecracker. And then when he goes over and he's like, hey, honey, and she just like calms down. Everybody
Mhm.
else can try anything. It won't work.
Well, so like the way the original actor felt more like a lovable sort of like look to him, and so like I kind of am glad they changed the actor because I would have felt so bad with her just cursing at him, you know.
Yeah, and also like, and then lying and doing the whole, like, we knew she was going to do all those political backstabbing, and she still lost the election. That's not. She doesn't know how to run elections. Let's call it what it is. She doesn't know how to rule. She does
Yeah,
not know how to run.
yeah.
Yeah,
She took a
that,
page. She took a page from Read Elect, the book of Laura Roslin. Sorry, Battlestar Galactica reference. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
oh,
Anyway, guys,
show.
I think we should round up because if not, I'll start talking about the second half of the book.
I've got to go and reread this book now because clearly there's been some stuff I've missed, and it's probably been a few years since I've read it. So
For me, it's very fresh. It was last year. I literally read book 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 last year. So I'm like,
Yeah,
where's
he
book
was on a
9?
binge, boy. Yo, help me find this one.
I'm waiting on book 9 now.
one thing I will say that I since they've gone with Amazon, I think, and my theory is that they feel like they can take a little bit more time during with the material in the book for the season. Now that they know that they're going to be renewed for further seasons, I feel like they went through some of the books kind of quickly, and when they were under Sci-Fi, and I like the fact that they have the confidence to pace themselves a little bit with the content that's in the books, and that that way they don't pull a Game of Thrones and run out of books.
Well, I mean, like,
But at this rate, I mean, there's 8 books out at this present moment.
yeah, if they go this way and it's 4 more books left, and if they decide to do 2, but they also talked about doing movies as well.
Really?
Yeah, they said movies, so they might do certain things as movies instead of books. And I can see certain parts of certain books might be cut away into a movie, so you can have the regular 10 seasons, and then you have a movie in between, and then you have the next season come through as well. Because you know how the story goes, characters tend to split off left and right. So you could have it where if there's an elongated space, you now just delve with certain characters that way, and then go into the books. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I was thinking it's kind of in a way kind of like the Christmas special for Doctor Who.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
The same literary function.
It could be that where we get like a Christmas special, and then we get the next season, which is cool, which gives you at least something in between that gap of like, a whole year to it. So, we'll see. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew, for joining.
Next sci-fi show is going to be Picard.
Yeah, Picard's going to be next. Thank you again. Picard is week to week, Lou. Did you all see Superman Red Son trailer? Yes, I did. I need to go reread that book. I have not read it in years.
That was the first Geek Book Club book. No. First or second Geek Book Club book that we covered. And
what's going on with that? No more book reading?
Yeah. Well, the last one that we had was the History of the Future, which is about VR, and we were wanting to do it in VR, but then there was a bunch of drama with the VR headset I got, and I had to return it, and I haven't gotten a VR headset back, and yada yada yada. But we are going to finish it here at some point because I need to reread it now. But it's pretty good. It follows. It's about the development of Oculus Rift, which is pretty cool. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't.
Cool.
I played with VR for a few minutes and I don't care for it.
You need to try Oculus Quest. That's why. Trust me. Quest has changed the whole game, especially now that it's hands-free next year as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know. I did the one that you sent me.
The
Oculus Go
Go is cool. Quest is even I was not expecting it. When I tried it out, I was like, oh shit, this actually is good for a standalone unit, no cords, nothing, no computer hookup, that kind of thing. So
That's gonna be nice. As long as
yeah.
I can run it, kind of think games, from the computer through the Quest or through a side means or primary means, I'm okay. I think that'd be good.
Bro, gaming is coming to consoles very well now. This is where it's going to be. Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 will be sitting on my counter.
Can we just call it the next box?
It's going to be just Series X. People are going to go Series X, Series S, Series 10, whatever they want to call it. The reason they're going with the series is because they just want to, so you can change the letters and numbers at the end, because they couldn't do it before, with Xbox 360 One. So when you go with series, you're in the safe zone.
we don't get any Epic 4G touches,
No, none of that. All right, guys. Thank you very much, guys. And thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.